The other
well,
Steve player.
we all still have Steve then. All right, so it's still a valid talking point. There we go. Yeah, Justinbyleth. It's still really funny to me that he has not changed his tag to Justin Steve. Fully committed to the Byleth bit still. Who knows? I mean, I've seen the Byleth come out once or twice before, but we'll see what he's got cooking up. Pharaoh, again, no need for introduction. A phenomenal Yoshi player. One of, if not the best Yoshis in the United States right now. Just a very prodigious talent on the sticks.
Speaking of which, pulling out the namesake straight from the round one. A lot of this is going to be using your distance demon, max basing, but these low percents is very hard to, with these weak hits, to get a lot of reward off of it.
Yeah, and again, what the big thing about this matchup is that Pharaoh has such a strict advantage when it comes to mobility. Yoshi being the fastest character in the game when it comes to airspeed, and Byleth, you know, having some good range, but not exactly being the most flexible when it comes to maneuverability. It's definitely going to be a struggle, especially once that advantage state is lost, once that neutral is shifting into Pharaoh's favor. It turns into a bit of a mess, for lack of a better way of putting it, for Justinbyleth, as we're seeing big up air there to close out the first stock. Pharaoh playing.
He snuck right in there, and that's gonna be a big thing. It's like kind of the opposite of, you know, how we saw WebJP last week, where it was a lot of like crawls to microspace. There'd be a lot of slide offs, you know, playing around platform, more aerial game. And Pharaoh, you know, more aerial character coming out. It's a big thing, and he keeps getting these whiff jabs and so much percent off of them.
Yeah, Pharaoh's just pushing this advantage further and further, managing to stay alive still, 141%. The back air is going to be enough to do it, though. Justinbyleth bringing the stock count back to even, but still has a healthy amount of damage to make up, especially with how Pharaoh's been playing this advantage state. That lead is not going anywhere anytime soon.
Looks like both players have their ice skates on with how many slide-off bears we're witnessing. Through neutral, speaking of which, sliding into the DMs with that forward air up here, taking another stock, a huge advantage, but swinging back from the fences.
I mean, it's a good start for Justin. This is definitely the time to start trying to make that comeback while you're at lower percent. Because as you know, once Yoshi gets one hit in, you see the damage starts racking up real quick. Anything is possible with these two players. I don't like counting anybody out until things are a lot worse of a spot. But oh my god, the eggs to the forward air. A beautiful confirm coming out from Pharaoh to seal out a compelling game number one.
Almost like a crag rock with that set play, just leaving that projectile hanging at the upswing of the up B. So when he tries to do an early quick up B instead of a delayed up B, you just snag him right out of it.
Yeah, again, just the option coverage, man. And that's what really separates a good Yoshi from a great Yoshi, is that egg usage. How you can make such a innocuous projectile such a massive threat in both advantage, disadvantage, and option coverage. It really can do it all.
It's gotta be like one of the more overbuffed moves. Like that, you know, from like all the older Smash games, like at most Melee was second most useful because of just how the ledge works with, you know, refreshing invincibility. But in this game, it's just like bounces, it lingers, you know, does it, you know, Yoshi's non-existent taxes for him, you know.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, Yoshi's also bouncing and lingering a lot, being a lot. Really great opening from Justinbyleth. Explosive damage. We've been seeing a lot of the Yoshi advantage state, but it is very easy to forget. It's not worth forgetting how much damage Byleth can do, especially once that advantage state is received. Keeping Yoshi in the air, I have to imagine it's a lot of a struggle, though, just in the nature of this matchup and with how much aerial mobility there is for Yoshi. It almost seems like really impossible for an extended advantage state from Justin. Like, trying to keep Yoshi in the air for a long period, getting value out of those Byleth struggles, cannot be an easy feat.
That's the thing, like, as you're saying, the extended Byleth juggles, it's like, getting the first two hits very feasible, but that third hit, a lot of your buttons are pretty slow that if you don't quite space your position and time yourself correctly, you're just gonna end up getting reversal like we saw here. Now, he did clean up that first stock, but he still had so much to recover in terms of momentum that Pharaoh did not quite let the pendulum swing too far away from his favor.
Yeah, and again, Pharaoh, phenomenal with the timings on these punishes for that Byleth Nair. It's still a tricky move even in 2025 to get correct, especially if you're trying to get the punish. There's always a lingering hit, but Pharaoh with a phenomenal Nair out of shield and having such a great Nair in his kit, able to push this advantage state extremely far, not really giving Justin the opportunity to apply extensive pressure, not giving him the chance to be alive either. A gorgeous forward smash coming together as well, and it feels like he's just getting started.
And Nair is always -9 because of the way landing hits work. They don't stale. Getting a huge parry like we saw there, give you the same exact plus frames, regardless of their spacing. Crazy punishes, but yeah, speaking of crazy punishes, that's just the DI-in on the up B. We're not quite able to get away. Almost gets set up for the exact same drift DI. Really gets out.
Big advantage state here. Justin gonna be able to make it to ledge. Phenomenal timing on the ledge get up as well. Doing a lot better and really has brought this game back to quite the even position. Gotta play it extremely careful here, and you gotta be extremely respectful of every little option that Pharaoh tosses out on your shield. It's very easy to get a little bit mashy, try to catch something, but you can't afford to do that, especially in this position. Justin, you're under 2 good hits away from sealing things out, but Pharaoh not too far behind.
Crazy weight. Actually, getting able to get the tech chase off the get up attack. Are waiting around, but those counter swings.
Huh? Either player dying. Okay, we're getting a little bit baited with the end of this game too here. Both players got well into the red. Justin, though, still holding a very slight percentage lead. Not that makes too much of a difference at this point. Up throw not going to be even close to killing Yoshi's one big boy at the up air from off of ledge. Justin with a little bit of a jump out of his seat from that one. But, both players having a good time. And Pharaoh narrowly taking a game too.
And they both seem to be, kind of putting on the pressure, turning up the fire underneath each other's metaphorical butts. As we can see, Pharaoh taking a big swig of his water. 150 to 177. That's a big thing. Like, you have to stay grounded as Byleth and just take a grounded trade, because a little bit extra being lowered down will help you win any trade scenario.
Yeah, once again, we are seeing Justinbyleth starting off with a very solid neutral state, getting a quick 72 on the board. A phenomenal start indeed, but again, you have to be so careful, especially the slightest overextensions against Yoshi needing so much damage. Pharaoh's advantage state not being anything to trifle with.
Really check chase coming out. That's a big thing, is that a lot of these times in these close quarter scenarios, Justin, rather than trying to wait and shield and just take the throw, because the throws don't really mean that much as this character, as long as you're playing, especially your recovery correctly. He keeps jumping, and that's where Pharaoh's getting a lot of his openings, is that, oh, you jumped, I'm gonna just throw out my all reel, my aerial that does it's a forward air, back air, and down air. But
it does it all.
Justin finally taking the first stock.
Yeah, there we go. And getting a solid bit of extra credit on the board as well, which is a very substantial upgrade from what we were seeing last game. It does feel like Justin's getting a lot more comfortable in these neutral scuffles. The rapid jab here, not going to get punished too bad. You are off stage against Yoshi, so I mean, that's not exactly a favorable spot. But Justin's still alive and able to continue applying pressure. Great up B out of shield. And it feels like Pharaoh is just not able to find this stock. A gorgeous down smash coming out from Justin to round out stock number 2 as he propels himself into a very confident lead.
Justin's finally figured out Pharaoh's tempo. We can see especially in these
okay.
Oh my God!
Justin, you're not allowed to do that. You can't go from these narrow games to just this huge call out with the down B. Again, both players taking it well, but Justin, my God, he is locked into a new degree.
Dominant 3 stock. I was about to say, he really caught on to his aerial timings. Like earlier we saw with the up air on the down B mix up was a huge tell that like he was quite confident with how Pharaoh was to play every landing scenario.
Can't even get too mad at Pharaoh. I also completely forgot that Byleth could turn around the down special guy in that moment. I saw him charging it, and it was like, oh yeah, he can do that.
And that's like really late to the animation too. Like every move, you have to do it like on startup to get the turnaround. She could just like, oh, I think I want to turn around now. You know, like, oh, me make left turn, everybody else look out. You know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that one, it's always like the one driver on the turnpike who just decides that they need to be in the opposite lane like 2 feet before the light. Always happens. Yeah. Every time.
Byleth is a true New Jersey character because, you know, you're making New Jersey shuffles.
Exactly. Means he's truly representative of the region. Great up smash coming out from Justinbyleth, still keeping some of that momentum from game number 1. And comfortably not at kill percent just yet. Yar's stuck at ledge. But
only for a measly down tilt on shield. Like a move that Pharaoh for the most part has been getting away with most of the stock. Oh, barely misses on the sweet spot there. That could have been disastrous for Pharaoh.
Yeah, again, one thing about Byleth is that when you can get a feeling of your opponent's tempo, it doesn't really matter how fast your opponent's character is. They just can't touch you. Great down smash coming out from Pharaoh to close out that stock. But again, you have a pretty substantial mountain to climb, and it feels like you're not getting away with quite as much. We were seeing in like game 1 and 2, Pharaoh getting a whole lot of value out of just constant shield pressure. Now, Justinbyleth not giving him the opportunity to get away with these little pokes on shield. If it's not a totally safe, you're eating a whole lot of damage to it.
That was a Pharaoh setup. I've seen Pharaoh so many times do jab 1-2 into like a mix-up, or even just a jab like a jab 1 downbeat. Because with running, that actually is a true combo. But as we saw, Justin just went straight for, you know, a 1-2 jab bear read on the panic spot dodge.
Yeah, Justin all over it. These upbeats out of shield have been doing some work in this game and last. It's just been putting on damage after damage, and it feels like Justin is just completely all over all of Pharaoh's DI options. With that being said, though, Pharaoh with the juggle situation here, not going to be catching the forward smash, the down tilt, the up air. That's going to be a game 5.
Just like 3 houses, we're getting a third game of this run back tour coming out from Justin, doing a great job of just keeping Pharaoh on the defensive and not letting him get away with these unsafe pokes. That's a big, you know, part of this momentum swing is just being more willing to like wait for the poke to come out and then punish rather than trying to beat him to the punch.
Yeah, Yoshi and these really fast characters are ones that you can't necessarily afford to be too proactive against, because that's really what they feed off of. They are the definition of bait and punish. Byleth, you really have to be careful about and utilize what mobility you do have and catch your opponent overextending, which these last 2 games, Justinbyleth has done a great job with. With that being said, though, Pharaoh still has one more game to put things together and has a lot of spunk still left in him. A beautiful opening to start things off. Quick 104, and the advantage state is just not ending.
Is almost being scrambled right now. Every time I see that down air, my eggs kind of pucker. I'm like, oh, is he about to get fared at 50 and take the stock? But instead, he's just going to extend it ledge trap. We saw Route 66 all night long on that ledge.
Yeah, you can see in the player cam too, Justinbyleth like shaking it off and locking himself back into things, trying to get his back at that momentum he's had for the last 2 games. He's got a bit of a hill to climb. Great down smash though, and that's certainly a way to start it. Just start getting these big reads, really start getting into your opponent's head. Hold on, jab lock not going to convert into anything crazy. The double jump armor putting in its work. Down tilt into the up air, getting Justin right back into it though, shaking it off as if nothing ever happened.
Justin, quite the hill climb racer. One of many comebacks he's mounted this entire set. See how he can play this ledge position to not extend it and take it, you know, over 100, which what happened last time. Gets his way out of the corner.
He's still got a little bit of work to do to get himself back into this, especially with Pharaoh's advantage right now. He's not letting Justin have a semblance of a chance to breathe. There we go, though. The up B out of shield, the tried and true, has been doing God's work throughout the set, and in Game 5, it is not slowing down. It is getting its fair share of mileage in, and it still has a whole other stock to work with.
I'll be back as one of those confirms that you feel like the worst player in the venue when you get hit by it. It's like such a skewed like risk reward 50-50 DI mix. Like it's so scary to get hit by. And speaking of scary options, able to get the overshoot on the bear, sneaks in with the down throw up B. 114 is quite a nice percent to stick at, because while you might be a little bit worried you get hit by high up air, most up air conversions you have a good chance of surviving.
Yeah, again, I'm loving the patience here from Justinbyleth too. He's not getting panicky, he's not getting risky, he's just keeping a patient disadvantage stay here as he works his way back into neutral. Great weight on the tech as well. Justin feels like he's got this matchup on lock. It is the impetus now being on Pharaoh to approach is also not convenient. Oh, okay. All right. So we are still playing the game. That's cool. That was not Justinbyleth's dare connecting. We got a little bit more time. Pharaoh.
This doesn't turn into a Halliburton in OKC where we're seeing a dominant winning game and then the players' ankles explode. It's this whole thing mixed up.
There's the damage, though, and the up air, the reverse 3-0 from Justinbyleth. That's got to feel good, man. Getting the reverse 3-0, pulling a little upset and make your way comfortably into winners finals to face either Jackal or Smash Bros real soon. It's a good feeling. Just some phenomenal set play here towards the end of things. It was very dominant presence. Looking back at that game 2 or that game 3, especially with that huge down special, that really was something else. We saw some gorgeous confirms coming out from Justinbyleth throughout. Just a whole lot of dominant presence, great out of shield options, and not really letting Pharaoh get away with blindly hitting his shield.
Yeah, one thing I like about these player cams is just how expressive these players are. You literally could see him when he got hit by that down B. It's just him saying, "Come on, man!" Like I hear it in my voice because I talk with Pharaoh a good amount. So these players were so lively, and I think their play really reflected that a lot of mid-set counter adaptation. Both sides, we even saw it in the game 5. I was playing a little bit more reserved, but just not reserved enough. And Justinbyleth really took it.
Yeah, but again, not to throw any shade at Pharaoh either. He was playing pretty on top of things as well. When he was moving, a sort of unstoppable force, so to speak, with the Yoshi. With that being said, though, down tilt up air is one hell of a drug. The amount of value how many down tilt up airs did Justin get throughout this? I mean, it's got to account for a pretty healthy number of those kills.
Which is like the 4 stocks in it's 3 times 5 in a 15 stock game. That's some good percentages. That's at least 1/5.
Exactly. I mean, again, it's just how much value Justin's been getting out of taking advantage of that aggression from Pharaoh, really turning it against him, especially as he got more locked into that tempo. I'm really excited to see more of that as we get into when we get to winners finals. It's because I know for a fact with both of the players that he is potentially going to be fighting either Smash Bros or Jackal. It's going to be a lot of that similar degree of dynamicness, a lot of shield pressure that's going to be leaving some room for some pretty interesting reversals.